Hello and welcome to the Aussie Football Passport, your one-stop pod for updates on your favourite Aussie men and women who are playing their club careers abroad. I'm your host, Alex, and this week there is plenty to cover as we have finally the Socceroos squad to play the Kiwis in the ANZAC series at the end of this week and into next week. Updates from the Under-16 ASEAN tournament for our young girls there, goal-scoring heroics and some big transfers to cover. So, without further ado, let's get into the headlines. All right, headlines. And as we close in on the European transfer window closing, we've got some big transfers to announce this week. And it starts off with Socceroos captain Matty Ryan, who has signed a one-year deal with Levante in La Liga in Spain. Of course, the top division there. He does have an option for a further year as well. So good to see Matty Ryan get a good move. He, of course, does have experience of La Liga, having played for Valencia, I think about 10 years ago from memory. All right, Marco Tillio finally gets his move. It is to Rapid Vienna on a 4-year deal, or Rapid Vienna for us English speakers. The transfer fee is believed to be £1.3 million or 2.7 million Australian dollars. You might want to fact check the currency depending on when you listen to this podcast, but that's sort of the round figures. Of course, Marco Tillio puts his nightmare spell at Celtic behind him with that move. Garan Quol has completed a move to AC Sparta Prague in the Czech First Division. He joins from English Premier League outfit Newcastle United and signs a 4-year deal. The transfer fee is believed to be £500,000 there. Now to an Aussie who is moving from Western Sydney Wanderers to where else but Scotland, Oscar Priestman. He's signed with Motherwell on a 3-year deal, and he'll join fellow Australians Johnny Katrumbis and Apostolos Stamatolopoulos at Motherwell. Now over to our ladies, and two big moves that have happened in the last week. Alanna Kennedy, she's joined the London City Lionesses from Angel City FC. We don't have a length of contract on that one, unfortunately, but if it does come to hand, we will let you know. And Hayley Raso puts behind her nightmare spell at Tottenham Hotspur. She has signed a 2-year deal with Eintracht Frankfurt in Germany in the top flight there. Eintracht finished third in the Women's Bundesliga last season. All right, now let's head to some other news headlines. And let's start with our Junior Matildas, who secured their place in the final of the ASEAN Under 16 Girls Championship with a 3-0 win against tournament hosts Indonesia. In that one, we got a couple of goals from our player of the week, who we will mention later on in the show. The heat did begin to affect the girls, as you can imagine, with play slowing down. However, it was captain Kaja Jugovic who scored in the 80th minute to put the icing on the cake in that one. The girls, of course, then progressed to the final, which was 2 days later. Can you believe it? So quite a difficult task for the girls to back up, but they managed to get a hard-fought 1-0 victory over Thailand in that final. The goal came from none other than Theo Matoyas Michalad. It was a bit of a tap-in, but look, a goal is a goal, and it won the tournament for the girls. So congratulations to them. Some notable individual awards. They went to Annabelle Kroll, who was awarded the best goalkeeper, and captain Kaja Jugovic received the MVP, or Most Valuable Player award from that one. So congratulations to the girls, and we look forward to seeing, hopefully, their progression to the senior Matilda squad in years to come. All right, now the Australian men's under-23 side has been confirmed with some changes made due to senior call-ups, most notably, of course, Adrian Segicic. We'll get to that in just a second, but pod regulars Jed Drew and Keelan Adamson have been called up to the squad, along with Giuseppe Bovellino, who plays for the Vancouver Whitecaps in the MLS, but unfortunately hasn't been seeing many minutes of late. Now, to that senior Socceroos squad that Tony Popovic announced late last week. He's named 7 uncapped players in the 25-man squad to face New Zealand, starting with next Friday's ANZAC Soccer Ashes opener in Canberra. Those players are Noah Botic, of course, from Austria Vienna, Nicholas Milanovic from Aberdeen, Adrian Segicic from Portsmouth, and Anthony Kallick from Hajduk Split there. Some notable recalls, of course, four, should I say, Nestor Irankunda, who plays at Watford, Jordan Boss from Feyenoord, Aidan Hrustic, Hercules Alamelo, Fran Karacic, Hajduk Split as well, Tom Glover from Middlesbrough, Max Ballard, NAC Breda, Hayden Matthews at Portsmouth, and Sam Silvera from Middlesbrough. So great stuff, a great squad, very exciting times for our Socceroos as Tony Popovic looks to work towards next year's World Cup in North and Central America. All right, that's it for the news headlines. We'll move over to the weekly wrap in just a second. All right, weekly wrap time, and let's start with our ladies in the US&A. Mackenzie Arnold, she played a full game for the Portland Thorns in a 2-1 loss to the Utah Royals. Caitlin Torpey, as seems to be the theme of late, did not get off the bench in that one. Courtney Vine, she got 17 minutes for North Carolina Courage in their 2-0 loss to Kansas City Current, also in the NWSL. Now to that competing weird sort of other league that the Americans have that's also a top division. Morgan Aquino, she played a full game in goal for DC Power FC in their 2-2 draw with Spokane Zephyr FC. Yes. All right. Now let's head south of the border to Mexico, where Emily Gilnick got 77 minutes in Monterrey's 1-1 draw with Guadalajara Chivas in midweek league action. She was in the matchday squad for Monterrey, but didn't get any minutes as her side had yet another 1-1 draw, this time with Juarez on the weekend. Now, let's head to Sweden, where we had a couple of Matildas face off against one another. AIK beat Kristianstad 3-0, and Jada Wyman played a full game and kept a clean sheet for her side, whilst Amy Sayer played a full game and Remy Simonson played 89 minutes for Kristianstad in that one. Courtney Nevin, she got a full game for Malmo and also provided a key assist in their 3-1 win over Vaxio. Avi Lewick, she got the spoils over Daniela Galic in a 4-0 thumping. Avi played the full game for her side at BK Hacken, while Daniela played the full game for her side, Vizio, in that one. Polly Doran, she got 75 minutes for Linkoping in their 2-1 win over Algensas FC to round out our Australians in action in Sweden. Now to England, where pre-season hits its final week before the WSL kicks off next weekend. And it was Chelsea defeating AC Milan in pre-season friendly action. Ellie Carpenter started the match at right back. Sam Kerr was not in the matchday squad as she continues her recovery from that ACL injury. Everton, they were defeated by Juventus 3-2 in an exciting contest at Goodison Park. Claire Wheeler led Everton out as captain in that one. So well done to Claire, a proud moment for her. Now let's head to France, where Tegan Marquez OL Lyon hosted Haley Raso's Eintracht Frankfurt in a pre-season friendly match. Tegan made her first start for Lyon as they recorded a 4-2 victory. Haley Raso came off the bench to make her first appearance for her new side. Now, speaking of Germany, let's head to the second division, where SC Sand defeated Wolfsburg's second side 4-0. Alana Murphy was unavailable for Sand, but Sian Fryer started for Wolfsburg too. Now to Italy, where Winona Heatley played a full game for Roma in their 2-0 win over FC Aktobe in a Champions League qualifier. She was left on the bench as Roma romped home in the second leg on the weekend 5-1 against the same opposition. All right, let's head over to the men's club action, and let's start in England and Wales, specifically in the Championship, where Cameron Burgess played 62 minutes of Swansea City's penalty shootout victory over Plymouth Argyle in EFL or Carabao Cup League action. Caleb Watts, he played 26 minutes for Plymouth in that one. Cameron Burgess then backed it up on the weekend for Swansea, playing a full game as his side kept a clean sheet against Sheffield Wednesday in a 2-0 victory there. Now, Massimo Luongo, he scored his first Millwall goal playing the first half of their win over Coventry City 2-1 in League Cup action. Rafael Borges Rodriguez played an hour for Coventry City, I should say, in that same game. Massimo Luongo backed up that performance with a full game for Millwall as they lost 2-0 to Wrexham in Championship action. Now, Callum Elder, he picked up an assist in Derby County's 2-1 loss to Burnley. He played the first half in that game. He then backed it up on the weekend, playing until the 6th minute of stoppage time as Derby County drew 2-2 with Ipswich Town in Championship League action. Now, Sam Silvera, recent Socceroos recall, he played the first half of Middlesbrough's 1-0 win over Sheffield United on the weekend in Championship League action. Tom Glover was on the bench for his side but did not get any minutes, of course being the backup goalkeeper. And Riley McGree is out injured still and is recovering. So hope to see Riley back soon. Lewis Miller, he was subbed on in the 77th minute of Blackburn Rovers' 2-0 loss to Norwich City, also in Championship action. Now to Portsmouth, aka Little Australia. Adrian Segajic, he played until the 90th minute for Portsmouth as they got past Preston North End 1-0. Thomas Waddingham did come on for Adrian Segajic in the 90th minute there. Hayden Matthews, he was on the bench but got no minutes, unfortunately, and Jacob Farrell was not in the matchday squad. Okay, let's drop down a division to League One, where Socceroos goalkeeper Joe Gauci kept his first clean sheet for his new side, Port Vale, as they stunned EFL Championship side Birmingham City in a 1-0 victory. Of course, Birmingham heavily invested and have Tom Brady as part of their ownership group. So a massive upset, a cup set, if you will, and great to see that Joe was part of that. He, of course, backed it up on the weekend in league action, but unfortunately his side could not back up that wonderful defeat. They went down 1-0 to Reading there. Now, let's head north of the border to Scotland, where Martin Boyle played 90 minutes and got a goal for Hibs in a 3-3 draw with Legia Warsaw in Conference League qualification action. Unfortunately, Hibs will not progress in the tournament as a result of that game against Legia Warsaw and the first leg that we covered last week. Marty did back up on the weekend and played 64 minutes as Hibs drew 1-1 with Keanu Bacchus's St. Mirren. Keanu played the full game in midfield for his side. Now, Kusuni Yengi, he and Nicholas Milanovic both came on in the 66th minute for Aberdeen as they went down 3-0 to FCSB in UEFA Europa League qualification. They went out, unfortunately, 5-2 on aggregate there. So unfortunate start to season for Aberdeen, and, well, it continued at the weekend when Kusuni Yengi played the first half of Aberdeen's 1-0 loss to Falkirk. Nicholas Milanovic was subbed off in the 54th minute, I should say. Aberdeen, of course, at the bottom of the Scottish Premier League table, not that long after they won the Scottish Cup. So let's see what happens with our Aussies there at Aberdeen. No doubt things will change very soon, I think, and whether that is a cause for concern for the lads' minutes, we shall have to wait and see. Yeah, Cameron Devlin, he played all of Hearts' 2-1 win over Livingston on the weekend. Ryan McGowan, he played a full game for Livy, while Tete Yengi played 72 minutes there. Apostolos Stamatolopoulos, he played a full game for Motherwell in their 2-2 draw with Kilmarnock. Oscar Priestman debuted in the same game, playing 18 minutes, and John Katrumbis played 3 minutes for Motherwell. Now, Zach Sapsford has returned from injury, played 78 minutes and got a goal for Dundee United in their 2-0 win over Dundee in the Dundee Derby. That is a bit of a tongue twister, but well done to Zach Sapsford. Won the praises of his coach, noting that he wasn't 100% fit, but pushed through the pain barrier to play. And what a result. He helped his side win a feisty derby. All right, now let's head to Italy, where Alessandro Circati played a full game for Parma as they drew with Atalanta 1-1. Now to Spain, and Matty Ryan, he made his debut for Levante as they went down 2-0 to Elche. He played a full game in goal and couldn't do much there as Elche got the win. Now let's drop to the second division in Spain, where Alamobile played all of Castellon's 1-1 draw with Real Zaragoza. Over to Germany, Conor Metcalf, he came on in the 83rd minute of St. Pauli's win over Hamburg 2-0 in the derby there. Of course, Jackson Irvine still out injured, and no updates on when we will expect him back, but hopefully soon. Now to Portugal, where Anthony Carter played 31 minutes for Santa Clara in their 0-0 draw with Estrela. Now to Netherlands, and Jordi Boss, he scored his first goal for Feyenoord. He also played a full game as his side beat Sparta Rotterdam in the Rotterdam derby, and the result 4-0 to Feyenoord there. Incredible stuff. Great to see, and we will share Jordy's goal on our social media platforms because it is an absolute belter and one you don't want to miss. Okay, now to Max Ballard, he played a full game for his side NAC Breda, who lost 1-0 to AZ Alkmaar. Adon Hrustic, he played 69 minutes of Hercules' 4-0 defeat to Groningen in the Netherlands. Now over to Belgium, and Ryan Teague, he came on in the 81st minute for KV Mechelen's 1-1 draw with RAAL La Louvière in Belgium. Sorry about that one. Another tongue twister. Now to Croatia, and Fran Karacic, he played a full game for his side Hajduk Split as they drew 2-2 with Rijeka there. Anthony Kalic, the new Socceroos call-up, he came on in the 84th minute in that same game. Now to Austria, where Noah Botic came on in the 73rd minute of Austria Wien's 1-0 win over Altak. Marco Tillio debuted for his side Rapid Vienna. He played in the first half of a 1-0 defeat to Jed Drew's Hartberg. Jed Drew himself played until the 57th minute, helping his side to victory in yet another Aussie derby. Jacob Italiano, he played the full game for Grazer AK in a 3-0 loss to Sturm Graz. Now over to Denmark, and Mohamed Touré, he played the first half of Randers' 5-1 loss to FC Copenhagen. Paul Ito was the Randers goalkeeper and faced an absolute firing squad, unfortunately, in that one, and not a lot you can do when that is happening. Now over to Serbia, and Milos Degenek played a full game for his side TSC Baka Topola in their 2-2 draw with Yarov. And over to the US&A, Kai Rolls, he played a full game for DC United as they finally got a win. They beat Aidan O'Neill's New York City FC 2-1. O'Neill also played the full game for New York City FC. Now, Patrick Yazbek, he played 83 minutes of Nashville's 1-0 loss to Atlanta. And Archie Goodwin made his debut for Charlotte, getting a minute off the bench in their 2-1 win over New England Revolution. And let's round out the weekly wrap in Japan, where Mitch Duke came on in the 85th minute for his side Makeda Zelvia as they lost 5-3 to Kawasaki Frontale in an absolute goal fest there. 8 goals in total in that one. All right. Well, that is it for the weekly wrap and almost my voice by the sound of things. Next, we will get to the players of the week. All right, players of the week time, and I have refreshed my voice to get through to the end of this podcast this week. Apologies, listeners. All right, players of the week, women's player of the week. It goes to none other than Abby Puckett, who I alluded to earlier in the show. Her match-winning brace against Indonesia that booked the under-16 girls into the final is exactly the kind of thing we want to see and was worthy of any award, let alone this one. So we hope to see Abby develop over the coming years and make her way into the senior Matildas squad. No doubt she will. She has all the potential in the world to do so. So one to keep an eye on there. Now to our men's player of the week. And who said lightning doesn't strike twice? Because guess what? Nesteri Irankunda, he gets the award again. There was plenty of contestants this week. It was hard to split between him and Geordie Boss, but we've gone with Nesteri because he scored another absolute worldie of a free kick for Watford, this time in their 2-2 draw with Southampton. I'd actually say that this one is better than the one he scored last week. So we've shared that one on our social media. So go and check it out. If not, jump on YouTube and just search the highlights for Watford's 2-2 draw against Southampton. I will get that right eventually. But definitely one you want to go and watch. All right, well, that is it for another week of the Aussie Football Passport. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, and rate the show on whatever platform you're listening to this on. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Amazon. Make sure you also follow us on social media so you can see clips of all those goals that we've talked about this week. Our page, we have social media accounts on X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram as well. All right. Thank you very much for listening. I'll catch you in the next episode. It's goodbye for now.